Welcome back to another tutorial. It's been a long time, things have happened and I've had to take care of them in my life as opposed to games and all the other good stuff. But I'm back now. I am going to be working on the Mercedes 1632 NG again. It'll just be a little while to sort of back up and running properly. Sort of health is going to take priority over this. Anyway, so we are going to make a road in Blender for ETS2. You will need Blender, and we'll need some add-ons, so Edit and Preferences, Converter, Pix Wrapper and SCS tools I will leave linked in the video description. Make sure they're enabled. Only other thing you will need is your base folder extracted, particularly the def.scs. So on your desktop, make a new folder. And let's just call it My Road. In my road folder, make another folder called Def. And in Def, we'll make another folder, sorry, I hit the mic then, called World. And in World, we're going to go to our extracted folder, go to Def, World. I'm going to scroll down to R. I'm going to find road look template, .sii, copy, and paste. And it should look like this. I say should, it will look like this obviously. We're going to just remove this main section here. And from line 23, go all the way down to here and delete it. But you should have that. Line 23 is going to be the last line. You don't need these unless you have traffic, like a navigation node. You don't need these either. Just going to be a nice simple road. Under road look, it's not going to be called road template because that will clash. Let's just call it road DGX road. Under name, change this part in green, grey, okay, whatever. Anyway, let's just call it DGX capitals road. The asterisk is there that appears at the top. Now template is where our road geometry and data is going to appear. So it's going to be called road template. And we're going to name this part whatever we want. So let's do my road, nice and simple. And this section before the PMD, again, whatever we name it in Blender. So again, what should we call it? Road test. So we have road look changed to road dot whatever you want to call it, not too long. The name altered, template right, road template. This is your folder you named, and this is what we're going to call it in Blender. Save that. Road look template, and we're going to rename. After the template and the dot, we're going to just call it DGX road dot SII. This has worked before, but it does throw up an error that its name is wrong. If not, just road underscore look and then dot your road, my road, whatever. Go back to the root folder, make another folder. Do it that way. Road underscore template, like we did. I forgot the name of that already. My road, okay. So here, make another one called My Road. And in My Road, lastly, another folder called Textures. So all in all at this point, we should have a main folder, your root folder, def, world with the SII file, road underscore template, My Road, textures. Now inside textures, we're going to need a TGA file. Just happen to have one here. Magic. Don't forget the texture needs to be by the power of 2. Tell me that here, but whatever. So yeah, this is like 1024 by 1024. Don't make it, for example, 347 by 900. It won't work. 256 by 256, 512 by 512, 4096 by itself, etc. Has to be by the power of 2. Open Blender. Now, SES Project Base Path is that folder we created on the desktop. There. And this is the level you want to see it at. Select, and that'll go to grey. And what about do output now? So in default output path, export path even in the output folder, road template, my road. You have the model and data files here, and then textures are going to be its own thing. So when we're on the viewport, we do Shift and A, mesh plane. Click on the Z for top down. Now dimensions, X are going to be how wide the road is in meters. I would not go to 2 meters. Your truck is not going to fit. Let's do 5 is a good width. Oh, pardon. And the directions of the Y, we're going to make 15. We want the bottom of this to hit the bottom of this red line here. So we're going to take half of this 15 meter and put it in the location of this Y here. So it is 7.5, I think. There we go. I can do math, I'm just not great at it. Or you can just snap increment and then just move it like that. But yeah, that is how we want it. Bottom of the road on the red line, going up along the Y-axis, 15 meters on dimension on Y. Now with this made, we do Shift A, SES object and root object. This will change the game object with our plane inside. Rename this. I think it was my road. I'm just going to have to double check, sorry. Road to my road. No, that's the wrong thing. Okay, road test, right. Road test. Have to match. So we have one plane. SES part, we're going to rename the full part to Viz, V-I-S. Viz for visible. Shift D, enter to duplicate. Just name plane 1. You can name these whatever you want. Add another. I'm going to call it coal for collision. With plane 1 selected and coal selected, we hit assign and plane on Viz. As you can see, they're jumping. Plane here is Viz. If we hit plane 1, it goes to coal for collision. Let's make one more. Shift D, enter. Let's call it plane 2. You can call it piece, road 1, road 2, whatever. Make another one. Rename Viz underscore tran and assign. So we have plane to Viz, plane 1 to coal for collision, and plane 2 for Viz underscore tran, which is visible transition at a guess. I'm not too sure what the tran bit means. We are going to now do the collision and texture part. We only want this highlighted. Go down to material, click new, and let's call it road. Already got one from before because I accidentally closed the recording, but it doesn't matter what you name it as. Under shader preset, we do diff spec weight for roads, add vertex colors to active. Under material textures, mapping UV map. Specular really low, so 0.1. Because it's a road, it's not going to be that shiny. Unless it rains, for example. Under texture, we're going to go and find that asphalt texture. Has to be TGA, cannot be JPEG, it will not appear. Click select. So it's stretched at the moment. So we tab it, edit mode, use unwrap, and Q project. No, we don't because I forgot the scale, sorry. Make sure you scale the object. Then, okay. It doesn't look great, but this is just for a example. You can scale up the text how much you want to make it look better. Alright, so with that done, make sure you click this box to create a texture object. Back into the folder and click asphalt.tobj. You can use whatever texture you want. I'm not going to leave a link to the texture because there's so many of them. So what we're going to do is plane 1, which is our collision. Make another one, coal. Now this texture is going to be a bit different because it's not even going to be a texture at all. Shader preset is going to be none. And add vertex color. It will look wireframe. Literally nothing there. And that's done. Plane 2, which is our Viz Tran, going to be road 1. Add vertex colors to active. We have plane. Collision. And Viz_Tran. If, for example, you did want to make it a 3D road, you don't have to do anything special. Go to edit mode, subdivide however much you want. For example, don't forget the more you subdivide, the more verts you're gonna get. You know, it's gonna get crazy into the thousands. Just for example, showing you what you can do, just grab that G and Z to manipulate it. If you leave it like that, don't forget you have to do it all for the same. So I'd recommend manipulating the road verts and then making your plane coal and Viz_Tran. Because if the visibility is this, but the collision isn't, you'll see this bump in the road, but your truck will just drive right through it because the collision is flat. The visibility is just a bump. You will not be able to physically drive over the bump because that part of the collision is not there. It doesn't exist. If that makes sense. But anyway, we don't need that much for now. Just dumb it down, literally like that. I think that was one thing I forgot to do actually is yeah, right. Control R for edge loop, like that. One for each of 5 meters. So 5, 10, and 15. I don't think you need to do it on the collision, just the visible ones. Yeah, a segment here, segment there, and a segment there. And on the other plane, segment here, and a segment there. Hopefully, so far, that's been alright. Not been too quick. I'm having to learn tutorials again and sort of teach myself how to use Blender, essentially. So, scale, apply. Yep. Making sure that's all set. All should be 1. Lovely. Right. Now, we are ready to export. The other thing I will say, if you do like make a 3D road, I'm just going to subdivide real quick just to show you what you don't want to do. So the edge here is where it connects to the terrain in the game. So if you raise your road up like that, the terrain is still going to come down the bottom on this part here. It's not going to go, oh, you've made it raise up, I'll connect there. It doesn't like that. The best thing I can suggest doing is like going in the middle, grab Z, making it raise up, and then just for example, make a bevel, make it smooth, and you've got a little speed bump, you know. make the road like that. Do not affect this edge. You can do anything you want inside. I will just show you one more time and you can go. Do not do any of these edges. Show you a little bit better. So the edges on the end bit, avoid. Any edges all along here are fine. As long as it doesn't touch the edge, you can manipulate. You can manipulate these, you can manipulate that. But anything along here is a no-go. I hope that makes sense. Right, get rid of them. So yeah, that's good. Right, and we're done. Yep. Coolio, right. So set the game object. So I just thought it's better I go over that than leave you hanging and wonder why your road ain't connecting. So road test. Output. Road template, my road folder. Click export. Or we don't have to actually, you can just do it under here. Pack. Make sure it's named. Export, convert. And pack. You can also make looks for roads. You can make it, for example, darker. If this was one on like ambient, you just make another look like that, and make the next one darker or lighter by 0.1, 0.10, whichever you want. And then all you'd have to do is just export it and then choose that option in the content browser. You don't have to edit any files with SES looks, names and that like you do with truck parts. Anyway, that's done. We're going to check it in our mod folder. You should see Automat, Def and Road Template. It's only half a meg, so it's quite nice. Automat, obviously you've got your materials, which we just made. Don't mess with mats if you don't have to. Def, World. I'm not too sure what this part does, so just ignoring it for now. Road template, my road. Should see textures here, and the PMV and PMG here. This is the physical model. This is the descriptor. Geometry and descriptor here. We're going to move my old mods out of the folder. We just have this. Now the shortcut on the desktop, which is under Edit. Get there eventually. They've actually got a road working in game, but when I have to make tutorials, just like, have I actually done anything wrong for it to not to appear in the map editor? That'd be the biggest pain in the arse. Right. There we go. E. And we're going to go to road. Eventually. Right. I can't remember if that's my old one or my new one. Road. No, it is a new one. Look, rear road test. Okay. So it should look like this. And you should see in your categories here. So how many tries have you got, etc. How many pieces? You want 3, obviously. We haven't defined any lanes because we don't need it. So we double click. And boom. See, and there we go. One road. You see what I mean? You've got the edge of the road here. If that was risen up, your road would just be floating. One important thing I will show you what you want to be aware of. So, for example, we make. Okay, that's already on. Right, so high poly road is disabled, that's what we want. Sorry, bear with me a minute, I'll show you exactly what I mean. Right, high poly road is disabled. I don't know why that's so squashed, but yeah, set as default, use default. Okay. Right. Just make an old zigzag. Unless it doesn't actually do it now. Yeah, you see, when you make a curve, the terrain's going to go all weird. Right, you've got the curve here, but here the road looking all weird. So properties, and click high poly road. You see? Bad, good. And that is, I don't know what's going on with this shit. Why is my box all... Okay, there we go, yeah, right, set as default, use default. As you can see here, curb and the road's going over. Use default. You know, you get the idea. But I think it's best we drive on it now. Make a real short road. Push the car back there. File, save as. I've had an issue before, it makes like another road. If that's the case, we just delete the road and then we'll go back into it. But I think it's best if I show you too much of what could go wrong, as opposed to not enough, and you're going, hey, you didn't tell me that. That's why I'm covering more than I need to, really, just in case you come across that problem and then it's covered in the same video. Yeah, as you can see, there really isn't that much to making a road. You can do it in about 5 minutes.